take it a little bit slower because a lot of you are being really f***ing weird and taking it way too fast, and it's creepy. You're like a creeper. Hey, what's up? It's Torie Mathis, your host, and I'm here with the one and only Sean Mathis, founder of Miles Through Time Automotive Museum.
What's going on?
You know, with a lot of events still, like in-person events still not happening, I see a lot more people going and trying to network online. And where that is a fantastic idea, and social media is, after all, like supposed to be social, a lot of people get it very, very wrong.
Yeah, there's a few different times that people have, they make it so damn weird.
Why y'all gotta be so weird?
LinkedIn is notorious for self-promotion that, what is it even called on LinkedIn? Is it called friend or connection?
Connection, I think.
Yeah, and so connecting with them is fine, right? But the moment it turns weird is immediately after the connection. It's like they're puking all this crap out of how great they are, and immediately it's like let's set up a phone call, or let's do a video chat, or what. I'm like, I don't even know who the hell you are, man. You need to put a little bit more effort into, I don't know, serenading me a little bit or something, doing a little bit of research on what it is that I actually do.
I can tell you that there is absolutely little to no real thought being put into this by most people. I don't know who is telling people to do this, but they're getting VAs, they're getting virtual assistants to do this for them, because I was actually contacted by a really good friend of mine on social that DM'd me and said like their whole spiel. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm really your target market, because I'm completely not. And he's like, oh, ha, 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 I have somebody doing that for me. They're doing it really bad.
The thing too, like they're
not
doing
only
it
are
massive.
you wasting your time and your money, but people don't like it. Like,
No.
People don't want to work with you. And yes, you might be able to catch a couple people, but I think for the amount of people that you're going to piss off, that they're going to think you're creepy because you are being creepy. Like, I don't think it's worth it.
It's spammy. On Facebook, I connect with a whole lot of people because we have common interests. Maybe I don't know them, but I look and I'm like, all right, well, they're totally into cars, so am I. That's why we're connecting, and it's fine. And it usually just kind of goes from there. And, I might start seeing their content a little bit, and it's car related. I'm like, all right, cool. And I've got a bunch of people on my Facebook I've never met in my life, but I've had a ton of conversations with them. And a little bit of me thinks that we're virtual friends. I know a little bit about them, but it's that common interest thing. And I think that's how it's supposed to work.
Absolutely. I agree.
But so often it doesn't do that. It's some random person, again, that friend requests you, or they friend request me, and it's immediately followed up with like a Facebook message, and it's like, hi, how are you?
See, I don't even get
so
hi, how are
weird.
you? It's nice to connect. Tell me more about your business. I know you don't fucking care. Like, don't ask me.
Well, that's more on like LinkedIn.
I get that on Facebook.
They ask you about your business on Facebook?
Instantly on Facebook. I don't know if because they see me in other business groups or whatever it is, but it's instantly going to business. It's the exact same LinkedIn thing that they've just brought over to Facebook. I'm like, I don't want to be friends with you. Unfriend. Like, I don't even respond anymore.
Yeah, and again, that's
it's
some people using a personal page as their business page, because you can't do that kind of stuff on business. And that's part of the reason why, is that you shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff as a business. If it's a personal level, like you can totally go out there and try to connect with people you don't know. But there's gotta, you gotta you gotta
Warm it
learn
up.
who they are a little
Right.
bit. Let them see your stuff, comment on their stuff.
I think the commenting on their stuff is one of the greatest things that people can do. If you actually do a tiny bit of research and go onto their page and find those things that you
Right.
have in common and that's where the conversation starts. It's not some dirty direct message because that's icky.
And just like a thumbs up or something isn't going to do it. I mean,
No,
you
because they're not going to see your name.
Yeah, you got to do a little bit of engagement and maybe start up a conversation on something so that, you're asking them a question based on something you see on their post and then give them an opportunity to answer. And then you can go back and forth a little bit. And now there's like, okay, they know who you are. So if even your end result is still to try to push whatever sale, like do it way down the road where they know who you are. Maybe they've been intrigued enough to check your stuff out. Like you have to realize that this stuff takes time, and you got to give it that time because these people they're rushing it, and like on LinkedIn where they're paying some VA to do this stuff.
This is on Facebook.
Oh, it's great, but
I mean, it's very obvious
Yeah.
on LinkedIn. Like if you haven't seen it on LinkedIn, it's very obvious that this is what happens on LinkedIn. But they're now like doing the exact same thing, and the friend that I'm talking about, that was on Facebook. And they were just going through their friends, their actual connections. So they're just friending everybody and then just sending these messages. And I've had more.
See,
I'm
that's
part
even
of this
worse.
coaching group, and I've mentioned this before, that I help design the software. And so everybody in this coaching group is able to use this software, and somebody from there. And so I get a lot of connections from there. A lot of my virtual friends are from this coaching group, which I think is really great. I have friends all over the world from it. And it's not that big. It's not like it's thousands and thousands of people. Like it's enough that we kind of know who everybody is, especially like the ones that are active in it. And I have had people come and try to sell me to use the software. And I'm like, you should probably do a little bit more research that if I'm in this coaching group with you, yeah, I've got the software, thanks. So in not doing any type of research, it's like people who come to me instantly and don't use my name or spell my name wrong. Like, you didn't do anything. You can't say, dear business owner, you get these emails. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to break through that because so many people are doing this stupid bullshitty stuff that whether you're emailing people or direct messaging people, just a tiny bit of research, a tiny bit of showing that you took a little bit of effort, showing up a little bit for them to, like you said, warm them up a little so they know who you are, so that when you do direct message them, you're not a freaking creep.
Yeah, and I mean, really, you hear people say you got to give more than you take, and I think a lot of people, they'll say that, and then they wind up forgetting what they've even said themselves, because it is kind of hard to give without taking, especially initially. When their mindset is, I got to sell my product and get it out and as many people as possible. Like that's front of mind. So that's how you wind up going and you just mass solicit all these people. And in doing that, you don't have time to give a whole lot. So if you slow it down and, instead of trying to friend request 100 people at once, pick a handful. Go look at their business pages, look at, their profiles.
See, the thing is that these people aren't even doing it themselves because I can't see this guy actually ever doing that to somebody, but he was perfectly fine with having some VA, to me, ruin his reputation because that's what I see it as. I'm like, ooh, you went there. Like all these companies like that he's so good at what he does too, and he could totally help people, and then he's doing it this way. It just really is, it's kind of yucky.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that kind of thing.
It's the whole, I don't even go on LinkedIn. I go on there. I post a couple of things a couple times a week. I try to go and try to and every time I do make a couple comments just so I'm kind of there. But it's so gross with all the direct messages, all the emails that I get that I don't even want to be there. And I don't know how to if you can clean those people out. I don't know. It's just so many people doing the exact same thing.
So what's crazy is on LinkedIn for you, it shows marketing and it shows all these industries that you're this, person that's in the industry, and yet it's those same people that keep trying to get to you.
I think the problem is that I have the word coach in there somewhere because I do some coaching. I do some business coaching with people. And so the people that sell to business coaches are trying to sell to me. And then the people that just sell to business owners, they're trying to sell me marketing because everybody needs marketing. But without doing any research, you wouldn't realize, oh, Torie already does that stuff. She probably doesn't need me to do it for me.
Well, that's the same. I've got, all the Lake Shark Media stuff, but then I've also got all the Miles Through Time stuff. So I get a lot of the, hey, we can, improve your website and do all your SEO and all that kind of stuff, where one simple look at the page and you'd see that I'm connected to a company that does all that kind of stuff. So, there's nothing that says we can't be connected or friends or anything like that, but you coming at me pushing exactly what it is that I do.
Well, if they were going to do that and did a little bit of research, then they could say, hey, I see you do some similar things. This is what I specialize in. Maybe I could help you out with this part of, that would be enough that it would actually be beneficial, that would actually catch my eye rather than just another one. Hey, tell me about your business.
See it on Facebook. I'm friends with people that do website design. I'm friends with other people that have car museums. There's enough customers to go around, right? I can't go, well, that guy does the exact same thing as I do. I can't be friends with him. But at the same time, I don't need to sell my stuff to that guy, and he doesn't need to sell it to me. But I also see when he's posting stuff, talking about how he's killing it in marketing and doing all these websites. And you know what I can do? Fantastic, dude. Good job. Great. And contribute to him in that way, because I don't even know where the hell he is. He's not here, but he's somewhere doing essentially the same thing. And he's into cars and all this kind of stuff. But he's never once tried to solicit me. And I never tried to solicit him, and yet we can still mutually be like, hey, we're in the same industry. This is awesome, You got any questions? I got any questions?
Well, that's why I like being in the coaching group, is because I've met so many people, and that's how I've always felt that it was, that we were all kind of working together and giving each other pointers and kind of lifting everybody else up. But then when you have people friend requesting from that group that are trying to sell you, and somebody's telling these people, don't listen to people if they're telling you just to direct message people in these kind of ways, because it doesn't work. And even if it does work, 5 out of 100 times, 5% of the time, look at those 95% that, like I said, I just unfriend them if they come across that way to me at all. Yeah. And, that could have been a great connection. It could have been a great opportunity. We could have worked together, all kinds of things, but people aren't doing it right.
Even because, like you said, if they have, it's even if they're the same industry, but maybe they specialize in something that maybe you don't enjoy doing, right? Mm-hmm. You can kind of nurture that a little bit to then, okay, there's the initial connection, and then we can figure that kind of stuff out. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, you do exactly what I hate. Let's get together and work on something. Mm-hmm. But you can't come right out the gate and do that, because it turns into spam. It's
I don't even think they're looking,
spam.
So they don't even have the opportunity to do that if they're not even looking at what they're doing. Different companies, and you can do that if you are trying to get in touch with a company, like if you are some type of service provider that you wanted to work with a business, you could do the same thing and network with the actual business online as well. It'd be like direct messaging somebody your portfolio, like, look how great my work is. I can redo your shitty website. Well, you just spammed them. You said their website was shit. You know what I mean? There's all these things that are red flags there that they're going to ignore you. But if you actually went to their page and commented on lots of different things that they did, and, mm-hmm. Then I think after time, people kind of start to check you back out. Or when you did actually introduce yourself, they would know who you are, and they would feel comfortable to maybe talk to you because they've already seen your name.
Yeah. And we talk about on social media the importance of actually posting stuff. So this kind of goes into that a little bit as well. So you connect with somebody, right? Well, if you don't post anything on social media, they're never going to have an opportunity to see any of the stuff that represents who you are, maybe your business. Being able to post stuff that shows what it is that you do without being like, buy my stuff, right? It's just like, here's my business and we help to this customer or something like that. Right. That person could see that and go, okay, this is what that person does, and without ever having to shove it down their throat. And you do it consistently enough, it kind of organically is like, oh, that's what that person does. Which is like what happened with the guy that builds websites and all the marketing that I know on Facebook. I had no idea what it is he did initially. I just saw that he was into cars. I don't even remember if I friend requested him or if he friend requested me, but we're connected. And over time, I know exactly what it is he does. And that's kind of like the way it needs to be done. I mean, if he came to me tomorrow and was like, hey, man, I want to work on a project together or something, or how can I help you? I'd be like, okay, I know who you are, at least. And then, who knows, maybe we need some help on a project, or we're overwhelmed, and it works out perfectly. But without that, it's dirty.
Yes, you definitely can connect with people on social media as a business, as somebody that wants to make those types of business connections, but you definitely have to be careful about how you do it so that you don't make people feel dirty.
It turns into wasting your time.
It does.
Especially if you're paying a VA to do all this stuff that will just make your reputation tainted, and you're not going to get anything out of it. And then some of these businesses, it's all about making phone calls and trying to get sales and all that kind of stuff. Maybe you do get some of them, but it turns into busy work because they're not great leads. You just got some.
And maybe that's the problem. Maybe they're treating this like a cold call. This isn't like you're picking up the phone and if they hang up, it's fine. When you're making this connection on social media, they see you. They see your face. They see your name. They can go to your page. Like, it's so much more personal than it's not the same as just picking up a phone and if they hang up, it's fine. There's a difference here.
And now that you mention it, I mean, that's essentially what's happening. It's they're cold calling through social media.
Social media is not the place to cold call. It's the place. If you did that, I really think that it ruined your relationship, and you're almost tainting your opportunities, because there are so many opportunities to connect with just a few more steps, being just a little bit more genuine, taking just a tiny bit more time. And maybe these VAs need to be trained to do this properly, because it's not just picking up, and dialing numbers in hopes that somebody answers or will answer your questions or not hang up on you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even if it was like, say we didn't do what we did and we were just some business and some person representing a company or something connects with us on LinkedIn and they do SEO, all website and all that kind of stuff, right? We connect with them. They don't immediately try to hammer us with all their services and stuff, but we wind up seeing their posts and I'm like, okay, this person, they built this awesome website, and I had this other customer, they improved their SEO and got them all these sales, and it's great. And then next thing you know, we get a message from them like, hey, I've checked out your business. This is what I do for a living. I went ahead and just, redid this page or checked out your SEO or something like that. Here you go. Just because we're friends, right? Didn't even try to sell me anything. But I look at that and I'm like, holy cow, I've seen them. I've seen what they've done. Now look at what they've done for me. Now that's a warm call. I mean, if you want to do it that way, instead of just, hey, this is my stuff, the cold call, you've warmed them up. And now if your end goal is still to just try to sell, that's your best opportunity is after you do those other things to then get to where they know who you are and they'll either buy or, you can unfriend them because you're done with it, or, they're not interested, at least at this time. And then don't try to keep doing it over and over. Because I've also gotten Facebook messages where it's weird conversation. I can tell from the beginning they're trying to sell me something. Like right off the bat, it's weird how they're doing it. It's immediately after I accept a friend request. And a lot of times I'm not sure if I'll accept a friend request, I'll let it sit for a while. So it's not like it pops up and then I'm like, yeah, friend. And then it's immediately, there's some time that goes by to see if That way I know they're like not right there at the computer just waiting to pounce on me, right? You know, it'll take a little bit of time for it to go through. So when I finally do it, and then it's immediately a Facebook message, I already know, all right, it's one of those. And sometimes, depending on how much time I have or what specifically they said, I might say something back. And then it winds up going back and forth for a little bit. And this last one I had, it was all good for the most part. I mean, we talked a little bit about cars and stuff like that, but then he started asking me some weird personal questions and then started talking about how great he was and real estate. And I'm like, dude, that's... And then I dropped the conversation. And then it's like 2 days later, the cycle started over. Hey, how are you?
The exact same, like they didn't realize they had already messaged you?
I don't know how that works, but it started as a, hey, how are you? We did the whole conversation thing until it got too weird and I stopped. And then a couple days went by and then it was a start over. Hey, how are you?
To me, it's almost like somebody like walking up to you at the street and like you smile and so you smile back. You're like, oh, hey, hi. They're like, hey, so what do you do? Hey, tell me about your business. I don't know.
I don't know who you are, man.
If you're being weird like that, like, I don't know, makes me uncomfortable. Not really a big fan. And I know I can't be the only one, so...
I think there's things you can do to attract potential customers to you without having to go to them. And a lot of that is like we've talked about, you know, posting that content that through your business page about how great your business is, and then resharing that stuff on your personal stuff, talking about your business. And then anybody that sees it, they know exactly what you represent and they can come to you. Or you can go to them, but just take it slow.
I think that's the key, too, is that you have to do a little bit of research and take it a little bit slower because a lot of you are being really fucking weird and taking it way too fast, and it's creepy. You're like a creeper.
Yeah,
I'm not the only one.
Take it nice and slow.
That thinks this.
Right? Don't rush into the relationship.
No. You know, we have new shows every Tuesday and Thursday where we talk about things like this, like how to not be weird on social, how to actually get good things to happen from the time that you spend on social media, how to market your business a little bit better, how to make your marketing more effective. And we'd love it if you'd come and join us. And if you want some free resources, you can definitely go to TorieMathis.com, and there's lots of great resources for you there that'll help you market your business a little bit better.
And if you want, you can friend request me and immediately send me a message telling me you're not a weirdo, and I'll know you're good to go.
Don't be weird. We'll see you on the next one.